Biggest challenge in that someone has had me do is actually making soap out of breast milk. So
welcome to another Woman in Business podcast. In this episode, we have CEO and chemist Rhea Simone of RhEAL Cosmetics. So, Rhea Simone, tell us something that's interesting about your business.
okay. So I guess I'll start with why I started my business. So I have an 8-year-old now, but at the time when Ty was like 1.5, he had really sensitive skin. So I started making products for him, and at the same time, I had just graduated nursing school, and I was working on the oncology unit, which is working with cancer patients. And I decided, let me start making some natural things for them, just as little gift sets, nothing crazy. And the products were so good that when I would kind of fundraise with them, we have an annual bake sale that we do for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society every year. And when I sold soaps and other things I was making, people were like, oh my God, this is so good. You should sell this stuff. So that's kind of how I got started. So I know most entrepreneurs, like I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. But it kind of just, I thought I just wanted to be a nurse. So to be able to kind of balance both careers for the last 6 years and now being a professor too, and kind of putting all of that together, it's not what I thought I would do, but it brings me a lot of joy. Both jobs, all 3 jobs, I should say.
That's a lot of arts. You're a professor.
Yeah, I know. And now I got promoted recently, so I'm a clinical manager. So I teach at work. I'm a resource at work. I love helping some of the newer nurses as well. And it all kind of ties in together, like it works. Because what I do is so different, but so similar, because it's just constantly focused on making sure that, we're being responsible with helping people and just being a good resource for people.
All right. So, in terms of the entrepreneur side, how do you get clients for your business?
I think when I first started, I made not the mistake, but I invested a lot in marketing, and I wasn't even paying myself for the first several years of the business. And I think that to say that, there's such a focus on being profitable that sometimes you can lose out on why you started in the first place. So for me, lately I've just been doing organic marketing, and it's just worked really well for me. I think that when somebody comes to you, not because they feel like they saw an ad or because they feel pressured to, because you're texting them every other day with these spam emails telling, hey, it's time for your next facial, come in. Like, it's not like that. I might text you once every one month to 6 weeks. And if you don't want to book, I don't text you again. I don't bother people. I like that when people come to see me, they're just excited to see me. And it's usually referrals. So I've been getting a lot of referrals lately, to the point where like I kind of don't even post as much on social media. So my students would be like, Professor B, why don't you ever post on social media anymore? It's because I have so many clients and so much content to edit that I just haven't had the chance. So organic sales just by word of mouth have been my bread and butter for the last like 5 months, which I'm very thankful for, because I know a lot of businesses, especially having gone through COVID as a small business, which was so hard. I really appreciate it now.
That's nice. Speaking of COVID, what was that for you?
During COVID, it was really hard, obviously, because I not only make the products, but I do the services as well. So, and being a nurse, I was on the front lines, and I was kind of new to leadership, being a new nurse, but also kind of being a senior nurse at the same time, because I didn't have much experience, and yet I was being treated as such because I was kind of I was very responsible, and obviously, they saw that in me, and they put me in positions of responsibility, and I would work like 4 to 5, 6, sometimes up to 15 shifts in a row while still making products, doing facials, doing all of it, even during COVID. And I guess for me, it just felt like they were a break from each other. If I'm at the hospital and I'm working with these patients who can't even see their family members, they can't even see my face. I used to put my face, a picture of it with me smiling, because nobody would see your smile for months. Yeah. Like, can you imagine being someone newly diagnosed with cancer and you haven't seen a smile for like weeks to months, because everyone has to have a mask to protect you and to protect themselves. So that was a really challenging time for me as a new nurse and a new entrepreneur, as a single parent. And I'm just so thankful that during that time, like I think both, like, this kept me sane from the hospital, and the hospital kept me sane from going too crazy with this. So like I said, balance, because I can't have idle hands. I don't work well with that. So kept busy for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, in terms of your products, what do you want to share with us?
I love the concept. I love the philosophy that I have with the products, and it came. It's very similar to baking, and I say that to say that anybody can do what I do. And then people ask me all the time, why don't you patent your formulas? Like I wholesale and I sell to other estheticians as well, all over the world. So if they ask me, hey, I don't have this type of product that does this, can you customize it for me? Sure, I do it. I started with 5 recipes and now I have 181. So to patent it, yeah, I could if I wanted to, but also like I'm constantly evolving. New research is coming out all the time. New ingredients are coming out all the time, and it's a completely different set of skills that I have to formulate. And when it comes to products making, I just don't feel that there is any competition when it comes to me. I don't know anybody else who does what I do. Like I don't use water in my products. So just to kind of show you an example, let's say your average bottle of toner has maybe this much water in it. And the difference here is the active ingredients. All of what you see in my toner is rose water plus active ingredients. We don't dilute the product. So it lasts up to twice as long, if not longer, because you don't need as much. And I can customize it to allergies, so you don't really have to worry about little things like that. And obviously my nursing skills with assessment, working with, the type of population of patients that I do that have very sensitive skin, it kind of brings together, everything together just makes me a much better formulator. Yeah. And I constantly learn, like every day, from just people asking me, can you help me with this? And even if I don't know, I do the research and I look into clinical studies on ingredients, and then I just start playing with stuff. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I make it work eventually, because I obsess a little bit when it comes to that part. How are you feeling, Callie? Good? Okay.
So how it works?
So my biggest challenge that someone has had me do is actually making soap out of breast milk. So that sounds really strange, and I know why, because you're like, how is that possible? Is it hygienic? So and so. And the way that I figured out doing it, because getting the breast milk to a temperature that you don't destroy the proteins and nutrients in it, while still making it clean enough that there's no bacteria in it, was a challenge. And all I did was freeze it. I was like, or tell her to freeze it. I said, give me your frozen breast milk, and I can make soap out of it, because her children, all of them had really sensitive skin, and even products that I tried to make for them, they were tolerating, but they would still be like kind of red, irritated little rashes. So I said, if I use your own breast milk and I make soap with your own antibodies, how would your kids react? And it turns out that, she was fine. And it took some trial and error and a couple gallons of wasted breast milk, but that was really fulfilling. That's probably the most interesting thing I think I've made. I made soap out of wine too, which was horrible, but it took me a couple months, but I figured that out as well, and that was really fun. I think it's just that feeling of, okay, I got it. I finally got it after playing with it for months and months and months. And that's how I got to 181 recipes.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Really interesting.
I know. It's just like cooking though, and I love to cook too. So I think that helps a lot. It's kind of being already comfortable, experimenting with things, playing with things, and not being afraid to fail, because I don't think I'm scared to fail. I think that I feel it's more exciting, because I learn every time I do. Like I've thrown away thousands of dollars and hundreds of gallons of products down my sink to the point where I had to replace my garbage disposal. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not a great homeowner, but I am a great nurse, mom, entrepreneur, and professor.
Nice, love that.
Yeah.
Going back to your products and recipes, how does it make you feel?
I love the feedback I get. I think my favorite thing in the world, especially unsolicited feedback, because as someone who, I actually went to Harvard for business school online during COVID. And I remember going through my marketing courses and publicity and being like, okay, it's obviously really important to focus on marketing when it comes to business. But the organic growth and the organic feedback that I've kind of like gotten, where people just want to come back to me to tell me how they feel about my products, there's nothing that substitutes that feeling, like where I don't have to be texting you or offering you like a discount to give me a review, that people just feel free. And even bad, even negative feedback, I treasure and I appreciate, because I've had to learn, like I'm sure we all have, if you're in any kind of industry that requires business skills, you have to take constructive criticism. So even with the packaging, like little things, like I can actually show you an example. This used to be packaging for our old, same formula, our eye cream. And obviously it's not bad, it's nice and stuff, but people were saying because it has so much vitamin vitamins in it that air was getting in the bottle, and that when they would pump it out, like you see how it gets dry like that at first before the cream part comes out next, see? So now instead I've kind of changed the packaging to this twist packaging that just allows the cream to come out without that kind of dry opening of it because of the introduction of oxygen to the bottle. So little things like that that I take into account, that I listen to, and I think that my clients like really appreciate it. Because when you message us about things like that, it's coming directly to me. It's not coming to 20 other people and then me. So I think everyone really appreciates that.
That is great. To not be like the average person and get upset from the critiques. Took
Exactly.
it and take action to transform your packaging. That's really great.
Absolutely. You get it.
Yeah,
It sounds like you get it.
Yeah, I get it, right?
Yes,
I'm on
sir.
track. Good. All right, so where can people find you?
So I guess it depends on what you're looking for, because I don't ever tell people just use my products, only use my products. My products are the best in the world. Like, I kind of just let my products speak for themselves. And there are some people who are very loyal to certain brands. And if things are working for them, I tell them that's fine. I would say if you have something that works for you, keep using it. But if you have concerns or you're not sure what to do, I'm always a resource. I help people. I do consultations all the time just through Instagram DMs, people texting me. And the best thing they can do is either go on the Instagram and send me pictures if they have any allergies, including things like that, if they're on any medication. All of that will help me to kind of respond a little more quickly. So it depends on what you're looking for, because I also make products for the hair. I make products for feminine wellness, and kind of whatever issues you have. If you tell me, I can make recommendations. Or if it's not something I offer, or it's not within my scope, like it's something that you need a referral for a dermatologist, if I can't recommend or if I can't prescribe something to you, I'm happy to do that. And I refer people out to other things and other businesses that don't do, or I don't have that machine, so that you're getting the best of whatever you need. So I guess it depends. Like, it's kind of a hard question to answer. If you want to find me for a specific reason, message me and I'll definitely let you know if I can help, and I'm always happy to help. The website is RhEALCosmetics.com. The Instagram is @RhEALCosmetics. My number is the business number. So if you go on Google, if you go anywhere, you're going to be texting me directly, even though I have a business phone. I just still end up using my phone, which is just so funny.
That makes sense. So we like to keep these episodes very short, no longer than 15 minutes. So, as an entrepreneur, what advice would you like to give women who are just starting out?
Oh my God, of course. So I think the best piece of advice I could give for women who are just starting out is to really focus on one thing. I think that I used to get so excited about something finally working because of so many failures that the moment something became profitable or popular, I went and invested all of that into a new product, which requires formulation and experimentation and feedback and tweaking. And I would say if you could do one or two things really well and making it very clearly different than other things in that specific industry or your niche, and you market it well, you're not going to need much else. Like, the product will kind of sell itself. And that's one of the things I wish I did. Because now that people know that I have so many recipes and know that I'm willing to help and know what I can do, it's been very challenging for me to kind of keep things in stock. And that doesn't look very professional, just being completely transparent. So I think if I were starting all over again, I would probably focus on just one or two bestsellers that I have. This is actually one of them. This is our rose mask. And the entire water portion of this is made with rose water. It has vitamin E, which was one of the only natural ingredients in like clinical studies, research studies, that shows to improve pigment, texture, without having to use things like retinol or salicylic acid, which can cause sun sensitivity. And I really, I say that to say that the people with skin of color, like myself, like her, who are darker color, you can't just, run to go to those types of ingredients all the time. Sometimes it helps to just use something that's really gentle and natural and at the right concentration that could work just as well as a prescription grade product. So if I had kind of focused on that research and maybe just this and one other bestseller, I think that I probably wouldn't be making the products anymore, to be honest. But I like this. I like being small. I don't want to be in Walmart. I don't want to be in Walgreens. I like that you can message me and ask me about something and I still know everything about that product. So That's my thing. But if you don't want to be that person, you just want to retire early, like, do that. Just focus on one or two things that you can do well, that makes you different and stand out, and there's no way you can fail, especially if you love it.